Alright, hello. Today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to play Liana Flores' new song, So It Goes. So this is all based on what I hear on the record. It's not really based on any tabs or anything like that. I'm not even sure if there is any. It's pretty new, so I don't even know. So let's just break it up into parts, I guess. I'm going to do the intro first, and then we'll go from there. So here, this is the first part, basically. That is it, okay? And honestly, if you could do that already, you're pretty much set for the whole song, if I'm being honest. That's probably the hardest part. Unless you don't know how to play bar chords, then tough luck. This first chord right here, you're basically just barring this whole third fret all the way from those notes, all the way on the third fret. And then you're just adding this little note right here with your pinky. The hardest part is going to be your right hand, so you're just going to have to just take it slow. I'm not sure how to explain it, but you're just gonna have to practice that over and over again, basically just that little segment, just like that. If you do that, that's basically like the hardest part of the rhythm. That's just the intro. You're raking that like that. So if I tap my foot with it, practice with the metronome, I'd say. That's the best advice anybody else is going to give you too, I'd say. So yeah, you just have this going. And then that next chord right there is a half diminished. You're just barring, same barring, but I'd say move this note down and take away that pinky, obviously. And then for the next chord, it's going to be like an A minor without the low A. Take that out. You're basically just playing this. And then you're adding this pinky right here on the third fret as well. So this note is kind of like our anchor, you know, how it's present on every chord. There it is, still. So for that bass note, you're just playing that E on the D string, basically. And then, you know, obvious classic A minor with that. This is basically just two fingers. I'm only playing these are all on the first fret, so just you have the G first fret and then the high E first fret. That's basically just a diminished chord. And then you're just barring these three notes again. It's basically the same notes we were barring earlier, but you're just doing these three, the D, G, and B string on the third fret. So you just have that going. You're just playing those three strings. If you want to do it exactly like the record, she does this little add that little open E right there. And then this next chord, this chord right here, that's basically, think of your classic D chord, move that up one whole set of strings, you know. And then you got your F major 7. So this shape you're gonna want to remember for sure. So this is so these are all. So you have your middle finger on the first fret on the B string, your pinky on the second fret of the G string, and then you have your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string with your index on that low E on the 1st fret. And it's going to be useful too because this shape, not exactly in this area, but it's going to be all around the song later. So, and then you go back to this, but this time you're adding that A. You're barring it all the way up to the A. Last time you were just doing this. You're actually going to add that low A, and you're actually not even going to play this D string. I just play the, and you can just rake the end right there, just so it gets that nice little swishiness, I guess. And then you go back to the F major 7. That rhythm you're gonna want to remember. It's it's a classic bossa nova rhythm. And then so the next part is going to be like this. I know it seems like a lot. But I promise you, it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. That F major 7 again. The planet spins, and then you got this chord right here. So that is a B flat major 7. You basically have this thing going on. So let's just explain it. Okay, so it's the 1st fret A string. 3rd fret D string, sorry, oh my gosh, I'm so bad with strings. D string, 2nd fret, I've been playing guitar for 10 years and somehow this just doesn't click with me sometimes. 2nd fret, G string, and then 3rd fret B string. Okay. Planet spins, the river flows, and then it goes to this 9 chord right here on D9. So you just go all the way up to that 5th fret. Basically, these 3 you're playing basically all on the 5th fret. The only string that is on the 4th fret is the D string. So basically, think of barring this. You just move that note down. Hopefully that helps. And then you go to this G minor 7 chord. It's just, you're basically barring this whole fret, whole 3rd fret. You're just playing these 3 notes though, or these 4 notes. That low G with those 3 on top, with the D, G, and B string. And you do another 9 chord with that C9. So the planet spins, the river flows, and so it goes, and so it goes. By the way, this bass part, you might notice me doing that. You don't have to do that, it's optional. You can if you really want to get, like, a little groovy. It's also what she does on the record, I believe, as well. But you don't have to, honestly. Like, you can just play it like this. Keep plucking the just those. You don't have to alternate like that. So where were we? So, and then the next chord is this augmented chord. It's basically just so you have right here on the 7th fret, you have your pinky on that D string on the 7th fret, and then these 2, you have your ring and middle finger on the 6th fret on the G and B strings, and then you got your index finger on the high E on the 5th fret. Yeah, okay, wow, jeez. By the way, I think something that might be really hard, now that I think about it, might be the transitions. Like that transition with the right hand, I'd say. So you know how you might, to start, you might pluck that major 7 all with the bass note included. But with the transition, you actually don't pluck the bass, you just the high extension and then the bass. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind as well. That's how you do that. And then what's it called? The night. So this D minor 7 right here. And whispers in my ear. Okay, so this D minor 7 is just your basic D minor 7 chord. Think of minor chord, just drop that pinky basically. Whispers in my ear. It's basically a 7th chord, a G7 chord. Add that 6th on there with your pinky. So, and then you drop your pinky with your, you play that note with your index finger, sorry, your ring finger, and then you go to a G minor 7 again, that whole bar on the 3rd fret. And then this chord, basically your 9th chord, just drop your pinky 1 fret by just barring this with your whole index finger. That note's the only one that's changing. And then you go to, instead of going back to this major 7, you actually she makes it an F minor 7. So a bunch of 2-5 action going on. So you got, so remember that major 7 there, just drop the middle finger. Not flipping you off, I promise, sorry. Yeah, just that, like that. That's your basic 7 chord on the A string, or for the A root. So, and then that. So you got F minor 7, B flat 7, G minor 7, and then you got your C flat 9. And then you go back to that verse again. The day that comes. And then for this next chord, instead of playing this D9 chord, she actually plays this diminished chord. It's classic bossa nova chord. You have this. Okay, so let me explain it. It's a basically on the 4th fret. You're just gonna play the 4th fret with your middle finger. And then on the 3rd fret, you're going to play all these notes. I like to just bar it. So you're basically barring these 3, but then on the 3rd fret, but then you add this ring finger on the 4th fret. So basically you're canceling out this note with this note. Those are the only notes you're playing. You go back to that minor 7. So the day that leaves, the day that comes, right? And you're just repeating that verse again. What's not begun. And then here, that basically that augmented shape again, but she's basically playing a A7 chord, but without any of the bass note going on. So she just plays it up here. So think of, just take out this low A and you're just playing that. It's just, you're basically barring this whole 5th fret, adding that pinky, or that middle finger. And then back to that D minor 7. Whisper. The sky above is clear and blue. For the chorus, you're going to do, it's going to be, here, let me just go over it real quick. It's just with So F minor 7 again. Without you. I did this to transition. Without you. It's basically just, that's the only note that changes. You don't have to do that, honestly. I think in the record that does happen, but it's not the guitar that does that. I think it's the piano or some other polyphonic instrument. I don't know. Without you. And then back to that D7 chord again, or that B flat 7 chord again. Just drop that pinky, and you got that minor. It goes from major to minor. There's your minor 7 chord. Okay, so without you, I will dream and I will move. And then that same shape, that same B flat 7 shape that we learned a while back in the verse, you're gonna play it up here on E flat. And then that same major, this is why I'm telling you to keep these shapes in mind, because it's basically, you're gonna use them for the whole song. So that same F major shape, so dream hold on, let me play it again. Without you, I will dream. That minor 7, 7, major 7. It's that same shape we play over here. This lonely. That same major 7 shape we play over here. What else is there to do? And that same flat 9 chord again. You might have seen me play it like this. It's the same thing. I play it like this to get that, to ring it out like that, so I could hit the high E's, because I can't really do that when I'm barring. I can, but it's just simpler that way. And then it goes back to the verse again, but it changes up the rhythm this time. You don't have to change with it, but on the record, that's what she does. So tough love. All right, so. So it's just basically for that's how long she does the rhythm for, basically. It doesn't go on for the rest of the song. So it's just that. It's pretty straightforward. So you're just playing all of the strings, basically. There's no syncopation going on. It's just pure. Well, at least no syncopation with your fingers, with the rhythm itself there is. Oh, actually for this, if you're doing the bass notes, so for this you're just gonna go. That's how you would do that for that sort of rhythm. And then once it goes back around, sorry, it doesn't do it for that, but it's basically all we already played. And then that same chorus again. And then for this last part is the only thing that kind of changes up a bit, and then the rest you already kind of know. Love is so sweet. I guess you kind of know this too. You're just borrowing this 3rd fret, basically. Those notes, those are the only ones you're playing. Love is so sweet before the fall. And then it goes back, but it changes to minor. Forever or nothing at all. Nothing at all. that intro basically. So let's just go over it again. So it's love is so sweet before the fall, minor forever, or that's basically your basic major shape, major. So you know how you learn your classic A major chord. Move that up half a step. Learn the bar version. If you don't know it already, you should. And then basically right there. So love is so sorry. Love is so sweet before the fall, forever or nothing at all. Nothing at all. Oh, sorry, it's just these three. And then it goes back to that. And then now this last part, this is optional, but well, this is how it ends. That part, right? How you remember. But what I do is just to add that little, you know, how it sounds like on the record, that little embellishment on the end, that little high, what is that, C? Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. If you could do that, that's basically, that's the song. Thank you. Hopefully that helps. I know sometimes it felt like I was kind of like pandering to a different sort of like style of guitar player. You know, sometimes I would switch to talking to from like thinking of I'm talking to beginners to like intermediate guitarists to like pros. You know, but you know that's just how I am. If you have any questions, please just let me know. I'm happy to help clear anything up. Thank you.